Let's talk about Jackson Hyde, aka Kaldur'ahm, aka Aqualad, in my DC Cinematic Universe. This dude had the fun fate of premiering at the same time in the comics as he did in the Young Justice show, and these two versions could not be any more different backstory-wise. So, here is my DC Cinematic Universe's origin for this kid that is a blend of those two origins. David Hyde was a marine biologist, a deep-sea diver, and his hobby was treasure hunting. He grew up fascinated by the mythology of Atlantis, and he believed that it was out there. I mean, just look at the Justice Society. They had a Martian and a god and a wizard. If that stuff's real, how could mermaids not be real? And dive after dive, he would find nothing. Until one day, he ran into someone under the water. A woman named Lucia. She was a native of the kingdom of Zebel. These two would have a whirlwind romance, and she would end up pregnant. Unfortunately, Zebel is a very conservative Atlantean kingdom. When it was revealed that she was pregnant with a surface dweller's child, they were hunted down, he was attacked and thought to have been killed, and she was dragged back down to the kingdom of Zebel. The soldiers that came and got her even took with them her newborn son, Jackson. She and Jackson were going to be put to death. But in a tragic twist of good luck, her brother, Locke, and his wife, Shelena, had just lost a child being born stillborn. They hadn't worked up the courage to tell anyone about this yet, the child only having been born days ago. And when he found out that his sister's newborn child was going to be put to death simply for existing, and his sister was going to be put to death for having this kid, he couldn't do nothing. He swapped his dead child for his living nephew, and he told his sister that he and Shelena would raise the boy as their own. And so, Lucia was put to death, and the infant body was buried. But this child lived. His uncle and his aunt, now being his father and his mother, named him Kaldur'ahm. And this child would grow up with a love of the ocean. And eventually he would find out that he also has a natural aptitude for magic, specifically aquakinesis. He would enroll in Zebel's school for sorcery, and he would become the apprentice to Mira. He would be her star pupil, and eventually this would bring him in close proximity with Aquaman. The two would just naturally hit it off. And then during the events of my second Aquaman movie, this guy would go on to become Aquaman's sidekick, and he would take the name Aqualad. And after his true nature as a son of a man of the surface is revealed, he feels the need to go to the surface. And luckily, this is just about the time when Bruce Wayne founds Titan's Academy. And so, Arthur Curry decides to send his young protege there. And there he would meet the next generation of superheroes and learn what it's like to be a human kid up on the surface instead of an Atlantean. And in layman's terms, he's going to have a personality very similar to Aqualad from the Young Justice TV show, but once he starts going to Titan's Academy, that's when more of the comics laid-back, cool personality starts bleeding through, and he ends up a nice middle ground between the two characterizations.